Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Movie Files. Elliot back again with a brand new Netflix movie review, and today's a big one. I'm really excited to talk about this film. This is the new Zack Snyder zombie action heist film by the name of Army of the Dead. I'm really excited to share with you all my pros, my cons, my overall thoughts, my score, and let you know if it's worth checking out in this spoiler-free review. But before we break it down, make sure you're following me on all my other social media accounts. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the community. Consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. That way you can get the alert from when I drop new content. It would mean a lot to me if you all can like and share this review. It helps out the channel a lot, but I also appreciate the support. And in those comments, if you haven't seen it quite yet, let me know your excitement level for Army of the Dead, which is already out in limited theaters, but will be available for everyone to see on Netflix this coming Friday. So let me know your excitement level, and once you've sat down and watched Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, let's talk about it. Your pros, your cons, what were some of your favorite moments, some of your favorite characters, what was your favorite zombie kill, and what do you hope to see in the future of this franchise? Because we already got an announcement for a live action movie, we got an animation movie, and then there may be some spin-offs and sequels in the future, so let me know your excitement level there. And of course in the comments, let's talk about zombies. Let me know your favorite zombie film that you have seen, and what is your favorite Zack Snyder film. Let's discuss it in the comments below. So Army of the Dead for me, really hyped for it, really loved the trailer. I am a Zack Snyder fan. I was so happy to see him getting back to the genre that kicked off his career. Dawn of the Dead is one of my favorite zombie films of all time, and when just speaking of zombies, Zack Snyder and zombies are like peanut butter and jelly. It's like pizza and wings. They just fit so perfectly together. And here we are discussing his next film in Army of the Dead. Starting off with the positives, let's start off with the dead. Let's talk about the dead here a little bit before we get to the living. Listen, Zack Snyder is doing some things with these zombies that I've never seen before. Now, to be fair, I've seen zombies communicate with each other in previous films. You know, I've seen zombies, you know, move a certain way and things of that nature, but not like this. Not with that Zack Snyderisms that we see with these zombies. And I won't give too much away, but you already seen the trailer. They can communicate with each other, which was pretty cool to see. But there's also some things in regards to the action that I've never seen zombies do. And there are, you know, let's just say, what do zombies do when they're not hunting and eating people? Well, you can see a little bit of that in this film, and I won't give too much away there, but the zombies were so badass. They were not only intelligent, but they were terrifying at points, especially these particular zombies. I want to highlight these two zombies here, starting off with the queen zombie. The bride zombie, played incredibly by this actress who just really embodies this type of presence of like a queen that you don't want to mess with, but also very terrifying, and does some really awesome things in this movie, and I thought she was fantastic. But also the king zombie, who went by the name of Zeus. Now this zombie here is a badass, guys. He has some things that he does in this film, emotionally speaking, that I've never seen a zombie do before. And again, what do zombies do when they're not eating human beings? Well, again, Zeus and the brides and the other zombies in this film, they show you what they do on their off time, and it was pretty incredible. Just the concept, again, what Zack Snyder comes up with the zombies in this film was absolutely fantastic. But again, just highlighting the dead, those two zombies, both alpha zombies, the bride and Zeus the king, were fantastic. I thought they were incredible zombies. And again, guys, once you see this film, I can see the cosplay right now of the bride and also Zeus. Those two characters were fantastic. And it's just crazy to speak of zombies in a film, like highlighting zombies. Again, Train to Busan, Dawn of the Dead, the Ray, you know, all this stuff. I love zombies, right? I'm a big fan of the genre, but they don't normally have like a storyline, right? Like the zombies have a storyline in this film. There's like emotional moments for the zombies. There's like action-packed moments for the zombies. They have their own characteristics, which is just really cool to say. So for my zombie fans out there, you will not be disappointed in the dead, in the zombies in this movie. But let's transition to talking about the living, starting off with the lead of this film, played by Dave Bautista, who I'm very impressed by Dave Bautista. Just seeing how he was able to carve out his career. He doesn't just want to be typecasted. And yes, he has physicality. He has some action moments in this movie as Scott Ward, the lead of this group that's going to get the money, but also try to keep themselves alive going to Las Vegas. He's badass. And especially once something happens in this movie where he kicks into like a Rambo mode, and I love that. But just speaking to Dave Bautista as an actor, and speaking to the more vulnerable side of him as an actor, as Scott Ward, a man with a troubled past. He has a relationship, a fractured relationship with his daughter, Kate, in this film, and you find out what happened to them in the past. It kind of creates this friction, but at the end of the day, he has motives. He has a reason why he wants to get this money for, you know, reasons that kind of supports his family, but at the same time, he has dreams and goals of having a food truck and all that stuff. So it's the warmth that I really enjoyed, as well as the badassery that we get with Dave Bautista as Scott, that I really appreciated. But Listen, I love Dave Bautista. He is the star of this movie, but I think there are several stars in this movie, and in particular, 3 of them that it's like a 3-way tie that steal every single scene that they're in. Starting off with Omari Hardwick, which I never watched Power. It's been on my bucket list, but I've seen him in other supporting roles and a couple leading roles in the early 2000s and throughout his career. Omari Hardwick was a MVP in this film for me as Van. He's the soldier, but also a philosopher. He has some of the best lines, some of the best moments, some of the best kills. Him and that chainsaw, which I wish was a little bit more involved in the action later on in the film, but who knows what the future holds for that character. I'll just say that. But I thought he was fantastic. And speaking of fantastic, his back and forth with this character by the name of Dieter, played by a new actor. I've never been exposed to this actor before. Matthias Schweighöfer, if I might be pronouncing that wrong. But fun little fact, this actor will be directing the prequel coming out, I think, next year on Netflix by the name of Army of Thieves, which I can't wait for, especially after seeing Dieter in this film. He was amazing, guys. He was so funny. He is the safe cracker of the group. He's the Ocean's 11 heist aspect of the film. I thought that his banter between him and Van was fantastic. I was like emotionally invested in their kind of brotherhood that they kind of developed within this film. They have a great emotional payoff in this film. I thought those two were fantastic. They're back and forth, and in particularly, again, this Dieter character, which I can't wait to see his prequel that he's going to be directing and also starring in. I'm a big fan of this actor. I love that Zack Snyder always brings these new actors to the table, and I thought that actor was incredible. But I can't leave out my as I said, a 3-way tie as far as my favorite characters. The character by the name of Lily, who is also known as the Coyote, Nora Arnezeder. Never seen her before, but I want to see more of her. I want to see her in more Zack Snyder films. I want to see her in more TV shows. Just more things of her, because I thought that she has this type of presence. Her French accent was just eloquently placed in the film. I thought she was an incredible character. To not give too much away by Coyote, but she's the tour guide, let's just say, of this film, and she also knows a lot about the zombies. I spoke about prequels. Give me a prequel, give me some spinoffs, give me some more of this character in this universe, because she was fantastic. Again, those are my 3 favorite characters. They were incredible, and I hope and I can't wait to see more of them in the future. But also want to give a shout out to Mikey Guzman, who is the sharpshooter, the influencer on social media accounts. I thought he was really awesome, but also his friend Chambers, who is played by Samantha Nguyen. She has one of my favorite scenes in this film. She was a badass character, as well as Guzman, but she was incredible. Chambers, if we get those prequels, I hope she can make some type of spinoff with that character. Again, the characters are so rich, they're so much fun, they're so badass, and they're so awesome. But those were some of my favorite characters in the film, no doubt. But those characters have to be directed. There's a leader in this film, and that's the man behind the camera, and that is Zack Snyder. Ladies and gentlemen, Zack Snyder is having fun. I'm so happy to see him, not even bringing up the WB stuff, but it's just, you can tell as I mentioned, I'm a fan of Zack Snyder. You can tell he's having fun with this, whether it be his interviews he's doing, marketing his film, talking about his film. Whenever, he would talk about it, you can see the smile in his eyes, the glimmer in his eyes. You can see the energy, the fun, the happiness being brought back in this film by Zack Snyder. He is an action genius. The action sequences were fantastic. The world building's there, the excitement's there, the zombies are badass. I mentioned it a couple months ago when I reviewed Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I've always thought this about Zack: if there is an ounce of badassery in characters, he's going to bring every single ounce of that out, and he does so much in this film. There are so many payoffs in this film. He is a fan pleaser, and I'll just say this, I won't describe the scene, but there's a character in this movie who we're supposed to hate. He does something pretty bad, and you're just like, oh, I hope this character get what he deserves, and he does. And sometimes when you get that in films, they cut away from it, right? But there's a moment in this movie, I won't say who the character is or where it takes place, but there's a moment where a character does something despicable, and there's a moment where he gets what he deserves, and Zack Snyder gives it all to us, and it's just like, yes, you're so crowd pleasing. Again, Zack Snyder knows how to make the crowd happy. I was very, very, very happy to see Zack Snyder being happy, being in the zombie world, and having a good time. So I really applaud Zack Snyder's direction. He also was a cinematographer. He also came up with the story. This was his baby, and I'm so glad that he was able to bring this to life. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to Junkie XL. I thought the score was really great, and I just had a fun time. There's a lot of fun, incredible, entertaining moments in this film, but with all that great stuff going on, I do have some criticisms that I'm going to transition into, and these are just the minor things. I'm going to start off with the smaller things first on my list here. Number one, I mentioned that Zack Snyder is the cinematography of this film. He's a great cinematographer. He has a great eye for action and sets up his shots really well, but there were some moments, and Zack Snyder does this a lot. There's like a lot of blurry shots in this film, which are intentional to kind of set the mood, introduce new characters, kind of disorient the audience while they're watching it. But there was like way too many blurry shots for me that I was just like, this is like kind of hurting my eyes. Minor thing, doesn't take away any points, but something that I want to kind of note that there was too many blurry shots for me, Zach. But nonetheless, a couple other things on my list that are just minor. Some of the comedy didn't work. We have the helicopterist who was the comedic moments of the film, and most of her jokes were funny, but some of the jokes didn't always land. Again, comedy is very subjective. There was a character that I wanted some more from, and that's Maria, who we see her in the opening, which was badass, which, by the way, I didn't even mention that. The opening, all Zack Snyder films open fantastically, and this is another one to put in the resume. This opening is fantastic, and you see Maria being a badass, but not so much in the meat and potatoes of the film. I wanted more from that character because she seemed to be really awesome, but she's really there to kind of spark something for her character, and that's really kind of it for her. So that's kind of unfortunate because I thought that we were going to get more from that character. But I mentioned how badass the alpha zombies were. Just in general, the zombies were pretty cool. You see them do some things that you've never seen before. But the secondary, the minions of a sort, those zombies weren't as menacing as I wish they would have been, sort of in the vein of a Train to Busan type of zombies. They were just kind of, they were just there. They didn't feel that intimidating for me personally. And then last thing that I have on my minor list is the runtime is almost 2.5 hours. It easily could have been about 10 minutes shaved off this film, and I'll get to those 10 minutes here in a bit, but again, the runtime is a little bit long in the tooth, and there are some moments that could have been completely taken out of the film. So those are the minor things, don't really affect my score too much, but getting into the big things that didn't really sit well with me in this film. My main issue with this movie, and this is the heart of the film, this is a big plot of the film, it's a relationship between Scott and his daughter, Kate. Not getting into the reasons why, but I didn't believe the relationship. I didn't feel for the relationship. I didn't really care for the relationship. And it more plays so to the actress that plays Kate. I don't like to single out actors and actresses in roles, but I just didn't buy into her performance in this role. I just didn't buy, like I said, I didn't buy into her relationship with her dad, which plays a little bit into the direction. I don't think Dave Bautista, the warmth was there, the caring father was there, but again, it wasn't just reciprocated from his counterpart and his daughter. I just didn't believe in a relationship. I felt more connected to Van and Dieter's relationship and their emotional payoff more so I did with Kate and Scott. So their relationship, father and daughter, didn't really work for me emotionally because it relies heavily on the relationship in the film, and it just didn't resonate with me personally, which again just kind of speaks to Kate as a character. She didn't feel needed. I know the point in the character, but how she gets involved in the film, her kind of finding a MacGuffin of her sorts in a particular character, that payoff to me just fell flat. It really didn't even go anywhere. Her whole motives of why she wants to get involved in this heist just didn't work for me. Again, the Kate character was my least favorite character, and I hate to say that because I know what Zach was going for. I know what the story was kind of implementing in regards to just, how people can fight for one another and care for another and the relationship between a father and daughter is great to see, but it just didn't work for me, and it mainly speaks to me not being a big fan of the character Kate. And then last but not least, on kind of one of my other issues, I mentioned that it could have been about 10 to maybe 15 minutes shorter. There are moments in the film where it's a little bit slow. The setup is great, but once it's kind of like we get the great setup, and then there's a little bit of lull, we get the action, there's a little bit of lull, and then the third act is just like all action. So there's like two parts in the movie, kind of the beginning of the second half and kind of ending, or I should say the beginning of the first half and kind of the middle of the second half are like kind of some lull, kind of slower areas that I think could have been trimmed out just to make the film a little bit tighter. So those are my pros, those are my cons. Before I give you my overall thoughts and my final score for Army of the Dead, make sure you all are liking the video if you like these type of reviews. Share the video, leave your thoughts in the comments, your favorite characters, your favorite moments, your favorite Zack Snyder film, your favorite zombie film. Let's talk about it all in the comments. So with all that being said, overall, look, at the end of the day, Zack Snyder is back and having fun, working in the genre of zombies and action and the heist element, which was all fantastic. The zombies were incredible. The kills were there. There's some really awesome characters that gets me so excited about that. Those prequels I mentioned, the animated series, which will bringing back a lot of these characters and their voice acting, and plus bringing some new characters like Joe Manganiello is going to be in the animated series. And then we're also getting that live action Army of Thieves directed by Dieter. I can't wait to see what that film has to offer. So this gets me excited for the future of this franchise. And also, without giving too much away, there is a potential a door being open for sequels, which I would be very on board for. Again, I mentioned my criticisms. The Kate and Scott stuff didn't work. Some of the lull, slower pace moments in the film I wish were cut out and could have just been a little bit more cohesive. But nonetheless, there are definitely more positives than there are negatives. And this is just a first-time watch. I would imagine my score, which I'm going to give you all here in a second, will probably go up after second and third and fourth. This is that type of film that's really entertaining. So with that being said, after the first watch, I'm sitting at Army of the Dead. I'm going to give it a 3.5 out of 5 with the potential of it going up. Again, for my zombie fans, you will not be disappointed. For Zack Snyder fans, you're going to love this film. And for the casual fans, they might have some issues with some of, like I said, the story plots, some of the characters. But overall, check this movie out. If you have the chance to see it in theaters, if you feel safe, of course, I would say this is a theater-going type of movie, and maybe one day when they open up to more theaters, maybe I can see it. But right now, definitely, if you have Netflix, check this film out this Friday. And when you do, let me know your thoughts on it. Again, your pros, your cons, your favorite characters, your favorite kills, your favorite zombie moments, and of course, your favorite Zack Snyder and your favorite zombie movie. Let me know that in the comments as well. Thank you all for sticking around and watching this review. Make sure to like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. That way you don't miss any of my other content. Hope you all are staying safe, and we'll see you on the next video.